Hi, welcome to my channel. You've stepped past my tutorial because you want to do your hair from home with no disasters. I want to walk you through some do's and don'ts because the last thing I want you to do is to do a hair disaster. So firstly, if you have never had a color before, I recommend 100% that you need to do a patch test. A patch test, basically what it is you're going to put some of the raw colored tint on the inside of your elbow or a little bit behind your ear, and what that's going to do is see if you have any sensitivity to the color. People do in the past have had a bad reaction, so you want to make sure that you're not someone who is allergic to color is going to have a bad reaction. If you leave that color there, you can put a band-aid over it. If you leave it there for 24 hours, you're going to know if you're allergic. If you're going to get a rash, don't go ahead. 100% recommend that you do that first. If you had plenty of colors before, skip that step, move straight along. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some guides for those that do want to color their hair from home. If you fall out of those guides, I don't necessarily recommend that you do your color at home. But if you stick to these basic principles and you just want to do a timey over, maybe because of finances you can't go to the salon, or maybe you're in lockdown, not so easy to go to the salon, and you're feeling like a little bit drab and you want to be freshened up with a fresh color, if you keep to these guidelines, you'll be fine. You'll have a new color and you'll be feeling fab. Okay, so color choice is super important. So today I didn't look this fab. This morning, which you will see as you go further in the video, I was looking pretty average. Okay, so my natural hair color is about a level 7. I've got some grays, not looking that great. So when I go for my color choice and I choose a color from the supermarket, if I choose a color that is 1 or 2 shades lighter or 1 or 2 shades darker, I'm not going to have too much of an issue. If I've got really dark hair and I want to go platinum blonde, please don't do it at home. This is not what I'm recommending. Okay, so if you keep within the 2 shade rule, you should be fine. So I'm about a level 7, had a few grays. I chose today to do a L'Oreal permanent color 9.1. 9 is the level it's going to go up to, and 0.1 is because it's an ashen tone. My recommendation is that if you're going 2 levels lighter, it needs to be an ashen tone, for the reason that when you lighten natural virgin hair, it throws off a lot of warmth, throws off a lot of gold, can be pretty unattractive. If I was, say, a level 5 or 6 and I put a 9.1 on my hair, it's going to go orange and it's going to be really unattractive. Same if I wanted to go darker. Okay, I would choose to stay in the 1 to 2 shade rule. And if I was going to go darker, I would do the opposite. I would not go for an ashen tone, I would go for a warm tone. A warm tone because you don't want to have blonde hair putting a level 4 or 5 on, and guess what? That blonde hair on those ends, it's going to look green. It's going to be pretty unattractive. So if you were to go 1 to 2 shades deeper, keep it in a warm tone. Warm tones are your golds, which is usually a 0.3, or your coppers, usually a 0.4, or your any side of red or mahogany, any of that. You should be pretty safe to do your own color at home, because my main goal is to make sure there is no hair disasters due to my tutorials. Okay, so stick with me and I'll show you exactly the product that I've used. Okay, L'Oreal Excellence Cream, got 30% off, that's good, at 9.1. Okay, let's check out the box. We have instructions, always good to read, but anyway, we'll put that aside. Now, what we have here is all of our products are numbered for easy use. So this is number 1, this is number 2, and this is number 3. This here is number 4. We have a pair of gloves that are in here. The reason that doing your hair at home with a product that you've bought from the supermarket that's designed to be put on at home, the reason why that can be sometimes better than buying professional color from a hairdressing supplies is that professional color, if I was going to do this professional color in the salon, what I would have is I would have my peroxide bottle, I'd have my tint, I'd mix it up in a bowl, and I would apply it with a brush. Okay, so if you've tried to do that, it can be a little bit messy and encumbersome. When you're using an applicator bottle, it's actually easier to apply to your own hair. So everything's been made user-friendly for you to do yourself. Number 1, purpose of number 1, it is a protective serum. So someone like myself, my virgin hair up here is in really good condition. The ends here, not so much, right? It's bleached, it's had many summers on it, it's really dry. So sometimes when the porosity is uneven from roots to ends, you can get patchy color results. So what you want to do is you're going to want to open this up when you first start, and you want to pop that through to make sure that all those ends have got a protective layer so that your color is a bit more even, and you get a good color result. So that's the first step. Once you've done that, what you're then going to do is you're going to open up your tube of tint. This is also the tube that you would use if you're going to do a patch test. You would do it the day before you plan on colouring your hair. You would use this end, poke a hole, you get a tiny amount out, and you put it in the corner of your elbow, you put a band-aid over it, check it in 24 hours. Okay, so let's say you've either done the patch test and you're fine, or you've had plenty of colours, you don't need to do that. We're going to poke that, and then what we will do is we'll open up this and we will squeeze all of that into there. Okay, I'm not going to do that now, but I'll show you a little bit later when I do it on my own hair. Once I've put that on there, put the lid back on, and I will give it a really good shake. Okay, so keep shaking so that it's consistently mixed really nicely. And then you'll screw that off, you'll be ready to go. This will be your conditioner that you'll use at the end. You will do 2 shampoos with whatever shampoo that you have. When you go to wash it off, use this conditioner at the end. Okay, so that's the products in the box. Stick with me and I'll show you what I look like this morning, which is not that great, but pretty happy with the end result. Okay, speak soon. Hey, good morning. I have come to you in my raw, fresh as a daisy, just got out of bed state. Haven't done my hair, haven't done my makeup, and haven't even had a shower. Now the reason being is that when I colour my hair, that's exactly how I like it. You are not going to the salon, you don't need to be all glammed up when you're doing your own hair at home. The reason I do it before I've had a shower, done my makeup, is the best way to wash your hair when you've done your hair at home is to jump in the shower. You want to give it 2 really good shampoos and you want to condition it. The reason being, if you're trying to put your head underneath the tap and wash it at home, you're not necessarily going to do a great job, and that's going to become problematic for a few reasons. You know, if you leave some colour on the scalp, it could leave some irritation on your scalp, it can damage your hair. Also too, maybe when you go to bed at night, you'll find that you'll get colour on your pillow. So jumping in the shower is absolutely the best way to wash out your colour. Now what you might also notice is that I'm looking like a bit of a homeless person in an old t-shirt, and that is also by choice. The reason being is that when I colour my own hair, I don't want to be wearing a cape, because a cape is going to, yes, protect my clothes, but I'm going to have my arms up in the air and it's going to get in the way, and I don't want that. Also too, I'm likely to perhaps drop some colour on my shirt and it will probably damage. If you're using a light colour, you might find it might leave some bleach stains. If you're using a dark colour, it'll definitely stain your t-shirt or what you're wearing. An even better choice would be a really old shirt that has some buttons, because that's going to be easy for me to take off when I need to go jump in the shower and wash off my colour. So stick with me and let's get all glammed up. Thanks. So before I colour my hair, I just wanted to give you a really good snapshot as to my regrowth. So I don't know if you can see there, but I've got some probably about a level 7 is my natural colour. It's almost a little bit darker at the back. It's like a level 6, 7.5, 6. So I also too, not only through here, have probably 40% or so scattered greys. Through the sides I have chocks of grey. I don't know if you can see that really close. So what I'm doing is I'm choosing a colour that's going to blend everything. So it's not the perfect colour for my level 7.5 at the back, because what will happen is it will throw off probably more gold than I like. Initially it'll look really good, but in a week or so it'll probably be a bit gold. But it's a good one all over colour that's going to give me a really nice blended colour throughout there, where I have about 40% grey. The grey actually helps to cool my colour down and not have it so warm. And then on the sides, where I've got a lot of grey throughout the sides and at the top, it's going to be a colour that's going to blend nicely. When I get a lot more greys, what I'll find is I'll probably have to change my colour choice. I'll have to have a more base colour. So rather than using just a reflected colour, which is what I'm going to use today, a 9.1, which is an ash, to try and control that grey, it's going to blend everything quite nicely. And I just want to choose one colour. I don't want to be having to use one colour for the sides and the top and one colour at the back. If I was in the salon and I was a client of mine, that is exactly what I would do. I would change the actual colours that I use and use different colours for the different hair that I'm using in order to create one uniform colour. For me, I'm just happy enough to have lighter, brighter, cool down the yellow, and off I go after half an hour, and not an expensive exercise, and I'm looking the goods. Okay, thanks. Okay, protective serum. Got to apply that to the ends that are feeling a bit average, just to give them some added protection. Okay, let's go. Rip that top. Maybe using scissors is better than your teeth. I've had some disasters where people have actually, opened something with their mouth and chipped like a tooth. So, okay, pop that in my hands. All of that nicely done. Okay, you can see, yeah. Rub it through my hands and just get those ends that you know are really a bit sad. And that way I'm going to try and keep them as happy as possible. Great, done. Okay, next, I've already gone through all these products, but I'll show you. This is my peroxide, okay? We have a seal here. Now, the way to open that, don't poke it with a knife or anything like that, is here on your lid, you can poke it and you'll nicely open it up. Okay, squeeze all of that squeeze everything into your peroxide. Obviously everything's perfectly measured out at L'Oreal, so you want to make sure you do equal portions, and the equal portions is by using all of the tube into the bottle. Really good shape. Okay, going using my tooth anyway. Pop on your glove. Also too, the reason, not only will it stain your nails, but what can also happen is that, you know, these are chemicals and you could have an irritation. So, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to section it up. So use this nozzle to create your line. Okay, so we're only going to do the roots at this stage and we will take it through the ends a little bit later. Okay, so I've done my first initial line and I'm going to take my first front section. So initially what you will do is you'll have it sectioned into 4 sections. Okay, you're never going to section up as nicely or as if somebody else was doing it for you, or you know, if you're at the salon, obviously it's going to be done perhaps a little bit more precise, but you know what, we're going to do a good job anyway. So do your hairline, because what you might also find, do the most important parts first. Don't start in the back underneath, because you might be a bit heavy-handed with your product and find that when you get to the front, you don't have any product left. So make sure you do what you can see first, and then that way you know those important parts are going to be done first. Okay, so now I'm going to section, put it over, and just do a line, and then I can rub it in a little bit later. Okay, so you can see we're going through this front section quite quickly. And this is going to ensure that all of my roots have some colour. So I'm just doing a quick little line, and then I'm going to kind of smush it in a little bit later. Okay, that's that first section done. Just going to get my fingers in, give it a bit of a smush. Okay, now I'm going to do the other section. Often you find doing one side of your head's easier than the other, depending on if you're right-handed or left-handed. Okay. I'm going to do this side, and then I'm going to come back to you. So I've done the top and I've done this whole section here on my roots. Obviously doing the back is a little bit more difficult, but you just need to section it, do a line, section it, and you're kind of going to go a little bit by feel. You can have a mirror at the back, right, in your bathroom, and sometimes that can be helpful, but sometimes everything's kind of back to front and you move your hand one way and it's the opposite way in the mirror, and it can just make it complicated. So I am just using my nozzle to section my hair up and do a line. Section my hair up, do a line. Section my hair up, do a line. That way, if you do kind of like you're drawing along your scalp, make sure every section of your head has some colour. So I'm just making sure I'm in at the roots and I'm drawing along my scalp with my colour. Okay, now once I feel like I've drawn my whole scalp at the back, I'm going to make sure I do these tricky parts that people might see. So you want to make sure you go down the hairline, across the bottom, and the other hairline. Okay, come back to you in a minute. Okay, so I've got the colour on my roots. I'm going to leave it for 20 minutes. I'm going to use the leftover colour. Hopefully you've got some leftover colour, and I'm going to put it throughout those ends. If you have a lot of hair, you can always buy 2 colours, 2 packets of the same, just to ensure that you don't end up running out of colour. You know, sometimes when you initially do it, you've used up all the colour that is on your roots and you're like, oh my god, I don't have anything left to put on my ends. Not really a big deal. Just use what you've got in your roots. After 20 minutes, smush it all the way through, which I'll be doing because I won't have enough colour left over in the bottle to do all of my hair. So I'm going smush, 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 and use whatever leftover colour I have in that bottle. Also, I've stepped back out on my balcony. I might go downstairs and make a cup of tea. I've got 20 minutes to fill because you don't want to be standing in your bathroom while your colour's processing, because it's really, the fumes are quite intense. So you don't want to be breathing that in. So go out to the fresh air, go out downstairs where it's not going to bother you, because it's pretty intense. Okay guys, I'll see you in 20 minutes when we try to take our colour through and put the leftover colour back on those ends. Okay, so it's been 20 minutes. I have about 1/3 of my colour left in my bottle, which is pretty good going. So what I'm going to do is I'm now just going to smush what I've got going on at the roots. Take my top section, take it into 2 sections. So you've got this side here, and you just want to put some lines down, smush it in. You know, it's not going to have an amazing amount of product all over it, but what we can also do is, once we've got our product on, we can pop a little bit of water in there just to help emulsify it. My little boy's in the shower singing. Very cute. Okay, the fumes are pretty yucky. What you can also do is get a wide tooth comb and comb it through. Once you've worked it all the way through, twist it up and just keep working at it, because the more you work it in, the more it's going to get onto all the hairs. And because my ends are already blonde and light, it's pre-sensitized, it's already pre-coloured, I've got some bleach foils in there, I've got old colour in there, it's going to work a lot quicker with a lot less need of an amount of colour to be able to get some tone on that hair. Unlike the roots, you want to make sure you've really got a good amount of coverage on the roots because it's virgin hair and it's the first time that it's been coloured. Okay, so my colour is on. I've smushed it through. I put a little bit of water in my hands just to help emulsify all that colour through my hair, because I actually do have a lot of hair. Probably in hindsight I should have just got 2 packets and that would have been a lot easier, but I'm fine. I've just used the one and I've just really emulsified it through to those ends. If I had a bigger regrowth and had been a lot longer between colours, I definitely would have got 2 colours. Now the other thing I want to tell you is when you're reading the instructions and it says put it on the roots for 20 minutes and then put it through to the ends and leave it for 10 minutes. Sometimes people say, do I stop the timer? You know, or they try to do it they take too long putting it through the ends. So what happens is when the colour companies put the colour together, knowing that it will take about 10 minutes or so for you to take the colour through to those ends. So then that way, if you put it on your roots, leave it for 20 minutes, start to put it on those ends, try not to take longer than 10 minutes because colours are designed to be processed for 30 to 40 minutes. If you feel when you've done your colour that it didn't have enough of a punch, you can leave it for a little bit longer to 45 minutes. But don't take half an hour just to take it through to those ends and then leave it on for another 10 minutes. Also too, you know, half of your head might have had the colour on those ends for a much longer period of time than the other half of your head. So you want it to be as even as possible and you want to get those colour through those ends as quickly as possible. Okay, so I'm going to leave this on for 10 minutes and then we're going to jump in the shower. I'm back. So my hair has been processing between 30 to 40 minutes because I popped the timer on after I emulsified all the colour in. So I know it was on for 20 minutes on my roots. I worked all the colour through, which probably took about 7 to 10 minutes, and then I put a timer on for another 10 minutes. So I'm going to shampoo my hair twice. So rinse the hair, try and get as much out as possible, shampoo, rinse it out, and then give it a second shampoo just to make sure that we've totally got all the colour out. From there, the conditioner I'm going to use is what comes in the box. Okay, so it's a really nice, thick, luxurious conditioner. Pop that in, leave it for a few minutes, rinse it out. You're good to go. Thanks. Okay, so I've had my shower. I did my 2 really good shampoos. I conditioned it. I left the conditioner on for about 5 minutes, combed it through, rinsed it off. Then I have got dressed for the day, which feels fun. I've done my makeup, I've done my hair. I feel ready for the day. This is my color result, and I'm really happy with it. You can see regrowth's gone, gray's gone, and you know, it's gone through the ends really quite nicely. Sometimes when you color your hair with an ash tone, you need it to be ashen so that you don't get it too gold at the roots or too gold in that more natural hair. Often what happens is the ends, sometimes people feel are a little bit too ash. I don't, because I like it to be quite ash, but if you do, give it 1 or 2 shampoos, it'll lighten up in no time and you'll have your light bright blonde hair back. Anyway, I'm really happy with my hair result today, and give me a thumbs up, give me a subscribe if you're interested in this kind of information. Leave a comment, let me know what kind of tutorials you'd like. You know, I'm an all-rounder hairdresser, I've been doing it for like 20 something years. God, that's crazy. So anything you want to know, I'm really happy to put together something. Okay, hope you have a great day. Bye.